Hello, my loves. So, guys, I know I have been promising to start this channel forever, so I do not have any makeup on. I'm a mess. I just got done doing a bunch of tarot readings today, but I really wanted to get this started, so let's do this, okay? So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Gina, and I do have another channel called Tarot of Light. I am a tarot card reader. And I opened this channel for spiritual guidance. A lot of it will be about spiritual warfare. This particular video, though, is going to be to help guide people that are in third-party situations. Now, the information that I am going to relay on this video is harsh. I'm not going to lie. This is the harsh truth, okay? So if you currently find yourself in a third-party situation and you feel like you're not ready for the truth about certain things, don't watch this because I'm going to lay it down I'm not going to hold back anything, guys. I'm going to lay it down the way it is, okay? And what I'm about to tell you is coming from personal experience. It's coming from just being a tarot card reader, you know, for years and seeing this situation over and over again and talking to people that have been in this situation over and over again. So it is a harsh situation to be in when you're in a third-party situation. It's finding yourself in that situation to start with stems from something way deeper, and we're going to get into that. We'll touch a little bit on that in this video, but I'm going to do another video about that because that's a big subject. So we're going to divide this into two sections. So the first will be if you know that you are in a third-party situation, if you're dealing with someone who is in a commitment and you are the third person and you know about the other woman or the other man, you know about the committed partner, and you are the outsider. And then the second part of this is going to be if you are with someone who is cheating, okay? Or, you know, it has you in a third-party situation. So let's get started on if you are the third party. So you're out, you're online dating, you're on Facebook, whatever, and you run into a guy, you run into a girl that starts giving you this sob story about how their wife mistreats them and their wife is cold, their husband doesn't pay any attention to them, just this whole song and dance about how miserable their life is. And you have this magnetic attraction to this person. You feel that they may be a soulmate. You feel that they may be a twin flame. You feel like you were brought into their life for a reason. This person will spend hours telling you all their woes. And this is going to be harsh, okay? When this happens, it feeds a part of the ego that you don't know is damaged, okay? So you're a man, you're a woman, and you're listening to this person, and you're listening to all the things that they're telling you. And their wife doesn't sleep with them, and their wife won't kiss them, and their wife won't touch them, and their wife is spiteful, and they won't leave their wife or their husband because they don't want to lose financially, and they don't want to lose in court, or they stay for the kids, or so many different reasons, okay? And how does it make you feel as the third party? Well, I can be better than that. Well, if he or she was with me, I would definitely be able to provide that. Well, if they're with me, it's because I'm so much better and it's so horrible the way this person treats them. It tends to feed the ego, knowing that this person has a man or a woman at home and being with you is better than being with them. And we don't want to face that about ourselves. And that's okay if you're not ready to face that. I've been there. I've been the third party. So it's not like I'm talking down to anybody. I'm not. These are things that I've learned through my journey. These are things that I've learned through the journey of many of my clients and the people that I talk to. It does. It feeds the ego. When I was in the third party, My ex would tell me, oh, well, she doesn't have sex with me like you do, or she doesn't touch me like you do. She doesn't make me laugh like you do. She's very cold. I can't live with her. She doesn't do this. She doesn't do that. And at the time, this was like 10 years ago, it fed my ego. It made me feel special. It made me feel good to know that I was better than somebody else, or that somebody chose me over somebody else. But here's the reality, guys. Grass only grows where you water it. Grass only grows where you water it. And that is a real thing, and it's something that you should never, ever forget. So if you are a man or a woman, and you're sitting across from this husband or wife or boyfriend or girlfriend or fiance that has someone waiting for them at home, know and understand that the reason why their partner is that way, because most of the time they're probably telling you the truth. The wife doesn't want to sleep with them, or the husband does mistreat them, or they're probably telling you the truth for the most part. What they're not telling you is the reason why they're being treated that way. The wife is probably cold and unemotional and spiteful and nasty because her husband is out talking to you. The husband is probably cold and nasty or whatever because his wife is out talking to you. If they're not home working on their partnership and they're out talking to you, yes, their home life is probably going to be cold and quite miserable. And guess what? How would you act any differently? If you are a man and a woman, and that was your husband or your girlfriend that was out at a club or at the coffee shop or wherever talking to another man or woman, when they came home, would you offer to make them dinner and give them a massage? No, you'd be pretty freaking pissed. You understand? So we end up falling into this trap of, is this person going to choose me because I'm so much better than the man or woman that they're with? I mean, why wouldn't they choose me? They're absolutely miserable with that person. Of course they're going to choose me. I'm just staying with them until, they get over this. No, let me tell you why they're going to stay with that boyfriend and that girlfriend or that husband or that wife. Because they created that disaster that they have at home. They created it, and they know they did. If you're dealing with a man or a woman who is sitting at a coffee shop or sitting in a car or sitting in a hotel telling you about their wife or their husband and how unhappy they are, they've created that unhappiness in their home. And they are with you to escape the consequences of their actions. And the reason why most of them never leave the husband or wife that they are talking so badly about is because they know that no one else would probably put up with their shit, because if you had them full time and they were cheating on you, you would probably leave them in like 3 days. That's reality. Okay, that's reality. So I've done many tarot readings and I've had many girlfriends, and I myself have been in these situations where, I've sat across from men that, and my wife does this and my wife does that and my wife does this. And, like I said, it happened to me once, and it feeds a part of the ego in us that is very damaged. And we'll go over the part of that ego. Let's just skim over it real quick. So people who get caught up in third-party situations in this way are people that, whether you realize it or not, do not value themselves. They cannot seem to find the strength to love themselves. So therefore, they need to prove their worth by someone else choosing them. Do you understand? Like, if I can't be strong enough to love me, but you choose me over someone else, then maybe I am worthy of love. Maybe I could start loving myself. But we're looking for it in places where we know we're going to fail. Because if you notice, most of us will not date someone who treats us right, because we don't have anything in common with that person. Most women have men falling at their feet And most men have girls that have major crushes on them, that will do everything for them. And same thing with women. But we don't really acknowledge those people because, well, most people don't, because we don't have anything in common with those people, because we can't appreciate ourselves. We don't love ourselves. So when people are falling at our feet, we look at them like, what's wrong with you? I'm not worth all of that. But if we find someone that we know doesn't want us right off the bat, if we can win their love, then maybe we are worthy of loving ourselves. So I'm going to do a video that goes deeper into that, but that just skims off the top, okay? So you may not find yourself as hot or gorgeous, or maybe you are hot and gorgeous and you're just like, for some reason, your confidence is still low. I've seen that plenty of times. I've bartended at strip clubs with girls that are like, we would all die to have bodies like these girls. And guess what, ladies and gents? They still cry. They still get their hearts broken. You know, it doesn't matter how you look. It's just, you know, you fall into these traps where someone tells you that you're better than someone else. Okay? And I've seen girls and I've seen men get upset, but you don't understand. They hate their wives. They hate their husbands. Maybe they dislike them immensely, but I'll tell you what, deep down inside, that guy, that girl that you're talking to knows that they destroyed what they have at home. Most of the time, 9 times out of 10, they destroyed what they have at home. Their wife, their girlfriend is a ranting, raving bitch because they're out talking to you. That's harsh, but it's the truth. Their husband is cheating or ranting, raving, yelling, screaming, abusive because they're out talking to you. And you would probably act no different if you were in that wife's or husband's or girlfriend or boyfriend's position. I've had people come to me to get tarot readings about men or women that have families at home. If any of you have kids, can you imagine how hard it is to have 2 small babies running around? You're trying to make your marriage work, and your man is out cheating. 2 small babies running around, screaming, yelling all day long. You're tired, and your husband doesn't show up till 2 o'clock in the morning. Why wouldn't she be a bitch? Why wouldn't she be a bitch? But, you know, we don't see it from that perspective because our egos want to win so badly. We want to believe that that other man or that other woman is just Satan incarnate and we're so much better and they should choose us because we're so much better. But what makes us any better or any worse than that other man or woman? Okay, so the harsh truth is, guys, if you are talking to a man or a woman that has a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a husband, or a wife at home, and you feel a soulmate connection, or you feel a twin flame connection, or you feel this unbelievable bond, more than likely, it's none of those things. It's your ego screaming at the top of its lungs that finally someone sees my worth because I'm better than her or I'm better than him. But you see, they don't see your worth because you're just a respite. You're just some peace away, a little vacation from the drama, the chaos, the hurt, the pain, the heartache that they have brought into their own homes by being liars, by being cheaters. You understand? If this person has the capability to lie and cheat on the mother of their child or the father of their child or someone that they once looked in the eyes and gave vows to in a church, why would you assume they're telling you the truth? I know this is harsh and I know this is ugly, but here's the bottom line. If I tell you how the reality is here, the next time you are online, or the next time you go to a club, or the next time you bump into a guy, the next time you bump into a girl, if they tell you that they're separated and they're filing for a divorce, if they're telling you that they're in an unhappy marriage, no matter how you feel, leave it alone. Leave it alone. You will save yourself a world of heartache, because this isn't about you winning the man. This isn't about you winning the girl. It's not about winning. This is about the emotional damage that you are going to cause to your ego and to your self-esteem. Because when that person doesn't choose you, and it does happen once in a while that they do, once in a blue moon though, for the most part, they're not going to choose you. Okay? For the most part, they're not going to choose you. And when they don't choose you, it's going to destroy you. It's going to destroy you. And it's going to take years and years and years for you to get that back. It has been 10 years since I have been in that position. And the problem is, when I was in that relationship, my ego was so inflated that I was better than this girl, okay? That I haven't found that high anywhere else since. And I haven't even been really happy in a relationship since, because it's like touching... It's like, you know, like a drug addict when they have that first high and then they're kind of chasing it. You have to be careful. You have to be careful with that, because, you know, what's going to happen is then in a regular relationship, nobody is telling you, oh my gosh, you're so much better than her. You're so much better than this. Now it's just you. And that becomes unfulfilling. You have to be careful, because this is how karmic cycles start. This is how karmic cycles start. Because reality is, we all want people to face their karma, but we never want to look at our own. Okay? You start a relationship with a man or a woman and they're committed, and you're causing so much pain in that other person's life. And you're like, yeah, but Gina, they're not happy. If they weren't happy, they would leave. They would leave. I left my third marriage and I lived in my car for 3.5 weeks. When you're unhappy, you will leave. It doesn't matter what you have to lose. There's no amount of money that you will lose to prevent you from leaving if you are truly unhappy. I've left 4 marriages. 4. If you are truly unhappy and if you are truly being abused, there is nothing that will stop you from getting divorced or from leaving that home. Nothing. The reason why they continue to stay is not for the kids, and it's not for this or that or whatever. It's because they know that they can't, because they've already destroyed the person that they have waiting at home enough. They've cheated and they've went back and they've begged and they've disappeared and they've done all these things to hurt that person that has been through hell and back with them. And that's why they won't leave them. That's why. So, you know, this isn't putting down people that actually communicate with other people that are in separation or filing for a divorce. Or I'm not putting anyone down, because as I said, I was there myself. I'm just telling you the dangers of it. The addiction of it. Okay? And how that karma comes back to you. Because then what's going to happen is, when you realize that you're not chosen and you want to move on and you want to find love, what's going to end up happening is, guess where your man or woman is going to be? They're going to end up being out with someone else, and you're going to be the scorned person sitting at home that they are talking bad about. You don't want that in your life. You don't want it in your life. And for those of you that are in relationships and your person is out there cheating, everyone has free will. If you want to stay in that relationship, the only way that you're going to survive it is by forgiving and holding no emotion towards it at all. Are you ever going to change it? Probably not. Because you're dealing with somebody that either has a sexual addiction, that is addicted to conquering new things, someone who has an inability to stay home and stay in one place, someone with commitment issues, or someone that is not... When someone breaks your heart with cheating, it's like a wound that'll never heal right, okay? It's never going to heal right. You can say, Gina, he's cheated on me so many times. Will he ever just stop so we can mend our relationship? It will never be mended, because you've been hurt to a point that you are going to require so much healing that even if you left them and moved to a new relationship, you would still have to heal to have a healthy relationship. Being cheated on hurts a part of your soul, a part of your spirit, okay? That it just doesn't heal right sometimes. And that's reality. I, again, told you this is a harsh video. Sometimes you can't just sprinkle sugar on things and, tell people it's going to be okay. Being cheated on is a horrendous thing. It's a horrendous thing. It never leaves your mind. It never leaves your head. Do they want someone who's blonde? Do they want someone who's tiny? Do they want someone taller? Are they attracted? It affects the ego and the self-esteem to the point where you will lose your mind. You will lose your mind. So even if your person's been cheating for years and years and they came to you and they said, I'm just going to stop, you will never trust this person again. And not only that, but you will never feel comfortable being naked in front of that person. You will never feel comfortable with your sexuality, with your stability, with your security in yourself as a man or a woman, because you will always sit around wondering, did they like that other person better? Or what do they like? Or why are they out there? What is that other person giving them that I can't give them? So the answer is not to just leave and go to another relationship. The answer is not to make it work with this person or to leave this person. The answer is to understand that when you are cheated on, your problem isn't even, I love them so much, what can I do to fix this? The problem is you need to get help on healing yourself, because what you're not realizing is your eyes are so focused on your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, on how you can fix this and how you can get them to be all yours, that you're not even realizing how damaged and how destroyed your soul, your sanity, your ego, your self-worth has become. Being with someone who cheats on you is emotionally, mentally, physically abusive. And again, I know this is harsh, and I love you guys, but I've been on that side of the spectrum too, okay? Where your mind doesn't stop. Do they want someone who's blonde? Do they want someone with short hair? I'm 5'8". Do they want someone tiny? Do they want someone, and then you get to the point where you can't even enjoy having sex. You can't enjoy going out. You get in your car. You wonder if this guy or girl has ever even been in your car. Have they been in your house? You know what I'm saying? It's just, it gets to you. It gets to you. So if you're in this place of your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend has cheated on you, and you're that person that's at home that they're out talking badly about, it doesn't become about whether you should repair the relationship or not. It doesn't become, are they ever going to change? Are they ever going to do right by me? Are they ever going to commit? What you should be worried about is, am I going to heal from this? Because if you don't focus on healing from that event that happened to you, you will not be able to have a successful relationship with that person or with the next person or with the next person after that. Okay? And I believe that's why I've had so many failed marriages, because I don't have the time. I never have the time for anything. And I never have the time to sit down and, I'm one of those people where you'll hear it in my readings once in a while where bad things happen and you take that bad thing and you shove it deep down and you're like, oh, I'll focus on that later when I have time. And, before you know it, I'm shoving. And, I just have so much stuff inside of me that I have to personally deal with that I don't have the time to have healthy relationships because of it. I have the ability to sit down and talk to you and say, don't do that, because I know what the consequences are, and that's because literally I haven't even had the time to deal with the consequences. And I'm telling you this so that you don't end up like me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you to end up like me. But no, I'm just saying, that's the reality. If you have been cheated on, it does something to your spirit, to your soul. It wounds you in a way that the healing requires a lot of work. So your focus should no longer be on how to get them, because people like that don't change. Because see, cheaters, it's not that, once a liar, always a liar, once a cheater, always a cheater. This person goes on little mini vacations. It's like a mini getaway. Do you understand? When they go to that third party and they say, you know, if you're the third party that, you know, they have a husband and wife at home, you know, they go there to release, to vent. It's like therapy. It's like going to a psychiatrist, you know. They say all the things that bother them, all the things that whatever, except that if they go to a psychiatrist, the psychiatrist would probably ask, okay, well, what did you do to her? Or what did you do to him? You know what I'm saying? Or a psychiatrist would try to find the real reasoning behind it, whereas another man or another woman that they're cheating with, generally they don't ask those questions. They just eat it up and soak it up and understand everything that man and woman is saying, and oh my God, she did this, and oh my God, he does that, and oh my God, I would never do that to you. Like, you know what I'm saying? And they don't have to face the demon and the brutality of their own actions. So it's like a mini getaway. It's like a mini vacation. And for those of you that are on the outside, third party, okay, what you don't realize is that when that man or woman puts the key in the door and they come home, most of the time, it's not really what they're telling you. Most of the time, they come in, they kiss their wife, they kiss their husband, they get an attitude because they walked in late or whatever. You know, they walk the dog, they sit down, they watch TV. They, you know, it's not the war zone that you think it is most of the time. Sometimes it is, but most of the time, you know. So it's just a way for that person to leave the house and vent. And that's why if you're the one who's sitting at home and your person is out cheating, it'll never stop because they become addicted to having that release. Instead of sitting down with you and working through problems with you like a grown adult, this is someone that doesn't know how to work through their issues. So they go to an external source to get that release so that they can come home with a clear head to keep the battle going. Instead of just, you know, it's not a normal, you know what I'm saying? It's just not a normal way of being, but some people are just programmed that way. They find it easier to just find someone new, release a little bit, come home relax to deal with the drama versus fixing the actual source of the problem, you know, and not needing to invite external people into their lives and creating extra drama. They find it easier to do that than to just sit home and fix the problem at home. You know, that's like people that, you know, will have a broken appliance or something and they'll glue it and they'll duct tape it and they'll do everything except for just looking up how to fix it the right way. You know, so it's just one of those things. And I know this video could be very harsh, and I know maybe, you know, you wanted me to give you some magic here. And I'm not saying that every third party doesn't end happily ever after. That's not what I'm saying. There are some people that, you know, have real serious relationship issues. But see, my point is that if it's that bad in their home, they will leave. Do you understand? They will leave. If they're really not in love with their person, and if they're really not yada yada so-and-so, they really will leave. Okay, they really will leave. And if you find after a little bit that nothing's changing, that your intuition generally will tell you. Your intuition will generally tell you if something's off, you know. But it's no joke. Your ego, your sense of worth, everything that happens comes from a much deeper place of your psyche, of your mind, of your spirit, of your soul. They're not just common decisions, you know. It happens for a reason, and those reasons are very, very deep. And it comes from a place of very deep-seated pain or very low self-worth. And a lot of us don't want to acknowledge that we have those issues. A lot of us don't want to face that we need that type of healing in our lives. A lot of us don't want to face it. If anything, we do the reverse. We come off as overly confident of, but I know I'm better than her, or I know I'm better than him. You know, nobody's better than anybody. Nobody's better than anybody, because you have to place yourself in their position. You have to place yourself in the other person's position, you know. When I was placed in the reverse position and I got cheated on, I left like half an hour before I even found out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was out the door, you know. Meanwhile, the when I was in the relationship where I was the third party, that poor girl stayed with him for years. You know what I'm saying? That poor girl stayed with him for years with him cheating. And I commend I commend. Now, 10 years later, that takes strength. Make no mistake that that woman or that man that is staying at home knowing that their partner is cheating and they still stay, that takes strength. Strength that I know I don't have. I don't know if you have it, but that's rough. That's rough. Okay? So, we all need to practice a little bit more compassion, a little more kindness, and we need to think 1, 2, 3 times before we get ourselves involved in these connections. And we have to keep in mind that the words soulmate and the words twin flame are not in any way, shape, or form to be romanticized. Soulmates come into our lives 98% of the time to teach us lessons, karmic lessons sometimes. And twin flames, we meet them most of the time. We meet them because it's our counterpart and we need to learn lessons. They come into our lives for very deep healing, and even twin flames don't always end up together forever. Okay? So it's important to stop romanticizing that and to stop putting that on a pedestal, because you could get yourself into a lot of trouble. You can get yourself into a lot of trouble emotionally, mentally, physically. And, if you fall into a deep enough depression, it'll destroy your life. It will destroy your life. So I feel that the time has come where someone just needs to come out and say it. Think before you act. Think before you get yourself into situations. Think of the way it can go good. Think of the way it can go bad. And think, if it does go bad, can I handle it? Can I handle it? And most of you think you can, but I know I couldn't. I know I couldn't. I'm not even going to lie to you. Like, I couldn't, So it's not a fun situation. It's not an easy situation. It's a very tortured situation. And most of the time, people will think that they have fallen in love with this person. And it's not even love. It's just your ego that wants you to be the chosen one. It's your ego that wants you to win. And you don't even know how many cases I've seen where the person does win. And now they're with that guy. They're with that man. And they are the ones being cheated on. Because now they have that fear of, okay, because then what settles in once all that drama happens of, are they going to leave her for me or are they going to leave him for me? Once everything's settled, it's okay, well, they cheated on that person. Now, are they going to cheat on me? So that starts settling in. That person doesn't come home late. Well, I remember when we were out late and you used to go home to her. You see how quick the tables can turn? So you have to be careful what you wish for. And you have to be careful what you do. And you have to be careful about not having compassion and not thinking about the other person or other people surrounding the situation. Always think, what if it was you that was home with 2 babies and your man was out there? What would you do if it was your chick that was out, talking to some other dude while you were home supporting all the bills? You know what I'm saying? And taking care of her. What would you do? How would you act? You understand? And for those of you that are home that are being hurt in that way, the issue here is you need to focus more. And some of you might be like, but Gina, I have a family, I have kids, and I really would be willing to make my marriage work. Well, I do agree with that. I do agree that, you should try your hardest to keep your family together. But if the person doesn't want to sit down and face things head on, another thing we have to keep in mind is if you truly want to forgive a situation, if you're the one who's home and you're being cheated on, and you tell me, G, I really want to fix my marriage. I know he or she has cheated, but for the kids, I want to come together and I really want things to work. The problem there is that you have to look at what you're saying and you have to really ask yourself, can you really forgive? Or is it going to be a snide remark every 2 minutes? Is it going to be you being cold in the bedroom? Or is it going to be, if they don't pick up the phone, a sarcastic remark? Can you really forgive and forget? I know as much as I'm into forgiveness and as much as I'm Christian, the way I see it is I can forgive you, but I can choose to not have you in my life and be a part of it. And that's the way I live my life, So, for those of you that have families and you're like, listen, I want to fix this. It's not all about if they will stop cheating. The reason why they probably continue cheating, again, is because they don't want to face the consequences of their actions. So if they go to kiss you and you sly away because you just feel disgusted because you don't know where their mouth has been, they don't want to deal with that. They can, walk outside and go to that third party, and that third party doesn't care where their mouth has been. You see? So they're just going to keep doing it. So this is what I'm trying to explain to you. If you want to fix your marriage, and if you want to fix your home, it really starts with you. Do you understand? It really starts with you. Do you have the strength to do what it takes to get that person to fall in love with you again, where they don't feel like they need to go out and cheat? Okay? Because most people go out and cheat simply because they're lacking something in the household. You know what I'm saying? They messed up. They're being talked down to. It all falls back for me as a Christian to the Bible. A man needs respect. A woman needs love. If a man's not being respected in his home, he's going to go find it somewhere else. If a woman isn't being loved in her home, she may go find it somewhere else. So, if your man comes home and you know that he's cheated on you before and you're questioning him and throwing shit at his head, or, sleeping on the couch or not talking to him or being cold, more than likely he's going to run to a third party because he doesn't want to face the consequences of his actions. And you're like, he's a coward or whatever. That may be true, but if you're telling me that you want to fix your family, then it's got to start with you. Same thing with a man and a woman. Gina, what can I do to make her fall in love with me again? So women are a little more different though, guys. I have to say, women are a little more different though, because if a woman's in a third party, she tends to fall in love. It's always more emotional with women. A lot of times it is. And, if a woman actually falls in love with another man, that'll be harder. I feel that there are more women who, fall into third-party situations and they fall in love that would be actually willing to leave their homes or leave their marriages than men. Because men don't normally do it for emotion. Men mostly do it for the getaway. Whereas women, they do fall in love a lot of times, I have to say. And I'm not saying that men don't fall in love too, but, like I said, men are looking more for that respect thing and women are looking more for that emotional thing. That's why they tend to cheat, Those are the two main reasons why men and women tend to cheat. So when a man goes off to a third party, he's looking for his ego to be fed, for respect, for him to feel like a man. And when a woman goes to cheat, it's because she's really looking for love. She's really looking for someone to love her and appreciate her. And that's why a woman is more likely to fall in love, because she's looking for love. Okay? So that's all I got, guys. Think before you act. And, for those of you who have been cheated on, it starts with you. The healing starts with you. Whether you want to stay in that relationship to work on your family, then you have to be the one to smile. You have to be the one to truly put your all into making it work. And I know you're going to say, but Gina, that's not fair. He cheated, she cheated, they should be the one to be on their knees begging to bring this family together. I get it. But obviously this person cheats because they don't have what it takes. They don't know how to fix it. How many times do we break things and we don't know how to fix it? If I broke this glass vase right here, I wouldn't know how to fix it. I would just go out and buy another one. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes men, women, they just see things as too shattered. I'll never be able to fix that. So we're together for the kids and I'm just going to go find, solace or peace somewhere else. Right? So if you're a man or a woman and you've got kids at home and you have a family, or you love this person to the point where even if they cheated, you still want to fix it, the healing of that starts with you. It starts with you. So, if you have a man that's cheating and he comes home and I don't know, you're dressed in lingerie, or you sit there and joke with them and you have light shining from you and forgiveness shining from you, and that person is now drawn to you, the last thing they're going to think about is going out to cheat. Do you understand? It's the way it is, and I know it's unfair. I get it. You might be like, well, they hurt me. They should be the one to fix this. And you're not wrong. I agree with you. But some people just don't know how to fix it. They see it as too broken, too shattered. They lose hope. They don't have faith in themselves that they can fix it. So they just keep making the same mistake to find some type of peace in their own lives. Okay? So It's a rough road. So for those of you who are on the outside and are in a third party situation, watch your egos and look at the situation for what it truly is. Okay. Ask yourself, is this love or does it just really feel good? And why? Why is their wife acting that way? Why is their husband acting that way? Why is the wife so cold? Why is the husband so upset? Maybe if they weren't talking to me and they were home loving them, they wouldn't be that upset. Okay. And so you guys have to, and again, I'm not saying that every once in a while there's not a real issue where I have personal family members of mine where the marriage ended 20 years ago. And, I have one family member that goes and lives his life, one family member that lives her life. And, in the home front, they stay together for the kids and that's it. It is a real thing. It does happen, but I'll tell you one thing, they will never leave each other. They will never leave each other. Do you understand? They made that commitment to die together. They will go play outside because they've made that decision to live separate lives, but still stay together. They're never going to leave. Ever, ever. Like ever. And the whole family knows about it. The whole family knows their business, but they're still never going to leave. So I'm not saying that situations like that don't happen, but be aware. Be aware of what you're getting yourself into. Okay? All right, guys. I love you. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you soon. Please stay safe. Bye.